We're gonna head for going live here, folks.
Where are you going over here?
What do we have on soil?
I
Maybe the finance one. What do you have? Do you have finance? What do you have finance on this?
Yeah, 5.
Finance at 5?
Well, I'm gonna be here 4.
Maybe 4, wait, not 4, right?
Yeah.
It's
Now we're coming.
We're gonna head for going live here, folks.
And I'm not gonna tell them.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the committee meetings for Monday, April 12th. We will start off with County Services Committee. Chairman Woolman.
Okay. 601, 602. County Services come to order. We have 2 action items, authorizing agreement, Greene County and Rucko at the Muse Prattsville. I'll move that. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
That's just a pass-through then?
I'm sorry?
Just a pass-through grant?
Yes, I think it is, yes.
There wasn't any contract amount list.
No, it says funds for this project are from a grant from New York State Office of the Agent.
Terry, do we have, is Terry on? Terry Ward?
The grant is a much larger grant than just this project. So I can't give you the amount of the grant because it's not just for this project, and they haven't purchased the items yet. So if you want the expenses and materials, I'll have to get you a budget on that. But the whole entire thing, no matter what the cost, and it's not going to be that much, is paid for by the grant.
Gotcha, thank you.
Okay, Bloomer and Handel, any, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Second one is authorizing agreement, Greene County Department of Human Services, Aging and VNS-NY Choice.
Handle.
Overbought who?
Handle.
Handel and Overbought.
Chairman Bloomer, I have a question on that.
Yes, sir.
What part is this, how is this part of Medicaid, Medicare? I mean, this program, the meals part. Has this always been a part of the Medicaid and Medicare program?
Terry?
Well, what happens is we have always had an agreement with VNSNY to provide meals to their clients. And they've always just reimbursed us on a regular contract, but I'm sure Kyra can explain this a little better than I. They've changed their whole way of billing. So now we have to go through this whole rigmarole that's part of the Medicaid and Medicare program. They're actually managed long-term care clients. So they get paid to provide meals to their clients by those 2 programs, but we're actually providing the meals, so we're recouping the money that they're getting paid to provide that service.
Are these meals within Greene County, or do they go outside of Greene County?
No, they're just, and there's only a handful, there's like 5 or less people, but they shouldn't be getting paid to provide that service and then having us pay for the meal. So we're providing the meal to their clients in Greene County, and we're just recouping the money that they're already getting paid by Medicare to provide that service.
Okay.
And this is Kyra. I'll just add, it's a capitated payment to the managed long-term care providers. So they back out the capitation piece and they pay Terry the monies that they would have received for the meal. So it ends up being a wash.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Mike. I had the same question.
Thanks, Ed.
One more question. What is VNSNY?
Visiting Nurse Service.
Okay.
Yep, Visiting Nurse Service in New York.
Thank you.
All right, we have a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And that is carried. Is there any more business for county services this evening? At which I I will make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Second, we're adjourned.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Good
Karen.
night. Thank you.
Thanks, Karen.
Call Public Works Committee to order 6:07. Start with the Highway Superintendent's report.
No, I think that'll. No, we got you right there. Watch Cammy from the camera. Camera's right in front of you.
Yeah, live with Scott.
Good evening. I'm going to try to briefly run through these. There's a lot of agenda today for resolutions, which I'm sure there's going to be some questions. 10 Route 12 bike lane project in Wyndham, they're remobilizing on May 3rd, and completion of that work should be late September, early October. 23B remobilization in Carroll Main Street, scheduled this week. They actually started today, mobilizing again. That work should be completed by the second week in May. This would include temporary lane closures. There will not be any full lane closures of that bridge any longer. That's hopefully paving will be second week in May. Obviously, that's all contingent on weather. Route 6 bridge replacement in Lexington. They're mobilizing in mid to late May. Final completion of that will be late September as well. Route 83 and Route 22 bridge projects, those are scheduled for next year, 2022. Bridge New York projects, Timber Lake and Wilmer Road. They're currently in the right-of-way stage. We're trying to push through the final design and right-of-way. Unfortunately, the right-of-way stage is taking exceptionally long time recently. COVID and visiting the homes, COVID cost solutions. Those projects might be pushed off again. Currently, crews are working on 23C flood damage in the town of Jewett. That's actually going very well. It's actually come out better than what we expected. There was a considerable amount of undermining on 23C, Lexington, Jewett. Coming out well, we should be finished with that project by the end of next week. That would shift our gears to 25 and 23C on the other end. There's quite a bit of storm damage from Christmas that we're trying to address. 10 Route 6, there's some road undermining as well, and 10 Route 6 that we need to work on. That would run along with 10 Route 17 road repair that was completely washed out in the storm. We're working with Soil and Water and DEP and the Area Watershed Management Implementation Program. Currently, they have around $400,000 for us to take advantage of the grant money, which is huge, huge advantage to us. That storm wasn't a declared storm event, so that's all locally funded with this grant money. We have a design meeting tomorrow with SLL Engineering. We're going to stress to them that they should do a lot of stream realignment. DEPs have done that call, and DECs have done that call as well. So I think that's going to be a good time to stress realigning that channel away from our roadway.
Scott, if they realign that, I don't mean in the middle of the report.
No, go ahead.
If they realign it, does it then create an issue further downstream by speeding the water up? Or-
Well, that's our biggest
Yeah, the
concern is because right down the road is where it was washed out in Hurricane Irene. And there's a retaining wall down there. There wasn't any room for building the embankment up in that location because of the opposite end of the stream, there was a huge embankment. This area, you can actually realign the stream, gain back our roadway, and have a design that's actually more cost-friendly to us, and I would think that would be a better solution for DEP as well.
I would hold up better in the future.
Right, we can armor that, and there's room for expansion on that section. Whereas the retaining wall section, it is what it is, it's a narrow part of the channel that there can't really expand. This one we can, and certainly be a better cost solution for the county as well as soil and water aid, and as any cost involved in this. Shared services, we're continuing to work with the towns of Hunter, Lexington, Wyndham, Saki, transporting blocks for Saki, we're transporting cars for our emergency operations center, for fire training. We're continuing to work with all the towns for shared services, transporting vehicles, equipment. Road maintenance, we're putting up a resolution to board the control and maintenance of roadside vegetation. This is going to be the first time that we've used such a program. I think it's been implemented in all the other counties around us and it's worked well. We're going to concentrate on guide rails. That's our biggest labor-intensive work, trying to get in between the guide rail. It's very difficult, very time-consuming. We don't have the manpower that we had 15 years ago. So and it's worked well for the other counties. So we're going to try to implement that here. We're going to stay away from homes, waterways, and would have any impact as far as some of the chemicals. All the chemicals are environmentally approved, DEC, DOT. The application process is the contractor that's going to apply it has the certifications necessary to apply it.
Is there a certain time of day they specify? Is it early morning?
If there's high winds, they can't. It's got to be, the winds can't be over a certain amount.
That's all county roads?
All county roads, yes. Equipment, we have several pieces of equipment that are on our agenda today, a track loader and a mower. You might have to question why are we getting a mower if we're doing spraying. The spraying is specifically for under the guide rail. Our mower that we're getting is for over top of the guide rails and to reach past it. The chemicals that we're going to use is only a 3-foot section right underneath the guide rails and around our signposts. On the solid waste side, currently they are unbelievably busy. We're constantly asking our solid waste department to do more and more and more every day. We built that Hunter transfer station, and I believe it is too small. We are inundated with solid waste. We're doing a very good job at trying to keep up with it, but that leads to our local solid waste management plan that we drafted with the help of Martin and Judas. They're very familiar with the solid waste departments throughout the state. They helped us draft that plan. We're going to have a public hearing meeting on the 19th.
We'll get to that. That's okay.
But the Hunter transfer station, right now we're waiting for plants to open for asphalt and to get the contractor back on board so we can finish up that project. But it's actually working out well up there. Besides the influx of solid waste, it's paying off in spades. We did a quick analysis. It's saved over 112 trips for our guys up and down the mountain. That's wear and tear.
A lot of brake pads. Yeah.
That's a tremendous amount.
Fuel, brake pads, tires.
And that's only in the, 3 months that we've had it operational.
So eventually, Scott, with Saki and with Hunter, you eventually will retire the tractors and trailers.
Ideally, yes, yes,
And that's with the roll-offs, the
Correct.
tri-axles and the tandem.
correct. That leads into Saki, obviously, soils out there, we're running into a lot of issues with the footings and foundations. We had to go back and forth with Barton and Judas and their geotechnical engineers on certain locations of where we wanted the building. Operationally, some locations that were best to put the building wouldn't work for us as far as logistically. So we've been going back and forth, and hopefully they can come up with a cost analysis and a final design shortly.
Is it the clay unstable, or is it because you want to dig down in?
It's the clay. It's the clay out there and those flats. Because of the footings that we are going to be designing for the 30 tons of waste that are going to be placed in the trailers, the geotechnical engineers are a little skeptical about either not putting piles, or they want us to do a little bit more as far as the footings. Drives up the cost.
I don't know, we just built the jail up there on the same clay.
Same soil.
Same soil.
That's all clay.
Yeah.
That's just.
But
Unfortunately,
the 30
it's not
ton
30.
is not pushing against the
30,
walls.
tons. It's on top, it'd be sitting on top of the floor.
Right, so you change your amount of concrete you're using, the pound PSI, and the rebar you're
Even
using.
that, they're worried about settling. It's not so much they're worried about the over time settling in that area because of the fire.
We PSI the jail site before we poured it, it was off the charts in terms of its density.
Did they do borings up there, do you know?
Extensive, yeah.
Huh.
And they found some better locations, but of course, the locations that they decided weren't going to work for us.
Yeah.
As far as logistics, doing the things that make sense for some locations.
Do we still have a mound of any material over by the jail?
All right. That's all clay too. That's all it's terrible. This is more bad material.
So you're looking for rock. I think
Yeah,
there's
structural
rock
fill.
up by Charlie's ledge up there, I think.
Yeah, if you get on the other side of the railroad tracks, it's rock.
That's
Not
78.
to derail your,
Rock up there.
this whole spring of chemicals, there's gonna be MSDS sheets
Yes.
available.
Absolutely.
And do we need permits
In between
for,
wildlife.
you know, if it's by watersheds and everything else?
We're going to stay away from some of those areas.
Well, the Flint
They
line,
have, the contractor has all the permits.
That goes right up to the top, right
Use it
up
for
to
all- They're all approved.
Yeah, I never had one.
Yeah.
the state over there.
One meeting.
That would be the same ones that they're using on 2020.
Only one meeting.
Oh, I stand.
All right.
I'll better say that.
This would be to our recycling. I know there was a lot of concerns with our current recycling at our transfer stations. We understand that there was a change. Change limited us to how much plastic we could recycle. We looked into it. Paul and I went up to Clifton Park to visit a facility up there, and we were extremely impressed with that new facility. $22 million facility that was built in Clifton Park that accepts single stream recycling material. There are several options that we can do. We can do the status quo, which is continue doing what we're doing, it doesn't cost anything. We have another vendor that we're currently using, but we are limited on what plastics we can bring to them. That's why it's been very limited at our transfer stations. Our second option is to bring it to Sierra Recycling up in Albany. That would be a considerable cost, around $60,000 a year, based on how much tonnage we would buy. Option 3 would be use that facility in Clifton Park. which would be anywhere from $18,000 to $20,000 a year, or the fourth option, which I think is the best option for the county, would be to construct a single stream facility that could accept all the plastics and recyclables, and we have them bring a trailer down here, bring up their facility. But our preliminary estimates, the building would cost around $700,000, similar to what Hunter Saki would be. What we would have a payoff in 3 to 5 years, based on the amount of single stream that would these commercial haulers would be bringing to us. Because currently, in today's market, these haulers are going very, very far distances to get rid of their single stream. It would be far more cost effective for them to come to our facility. Most of the time, they're coming for us anyways to get rid of their MSW. We provide them with an alternative for their single stream. We can also charge them for that service as well. And in 3 to 5 years, we have that paid off. And it would allow us to recycle far more than we do currently.
You would,
People are complaining that they take their plastics and they're telling them they can't take that.
Correct.
One person in
Right.
particular said, you know, I went with a load of plastic, which I usually dump up there. And I was told, you can't do this one, you can't do that one, you can't do this one. She said, I got rid of a quarter of my plastic.
Right.
And her question is, what do I do with the rest of it? Just put it in.
Unfortunately, it goes into the landfill.
Yeah.
And that is, realistically, that's unless you get a hauler that does single stream, that's what most of them are doing as well.
yeah, the market's kind of crept right out on it.
Yeah.
It's, unless there is a market for plastics, but it has to be very clean plastic and it has to be sorted very well.
So the ROI on a building to do this, say, what do they say, 3 to 5 years?
Right.
That's in savings from having to transport it ourselves, as well as pulling revenue in from having
Correct.
these haulers dumped.
Yes. And they're looking.
Probably more the latter than the former.
Yeah, more of the latter.
Yeah, but the combination of the two would be
Most
where
of
your
these-
return is.
Most of our commercial haulers are looking for a avenue to get rid of their single stream, because currently there's not a location for them to do it.
So it would operate like the solid waste does. You dump it on the floor, we put it into a trailer, they haul it off.
Correct.
And they're probably, they're hauling it off at their cost. We're not getting a fee for that.
We would charge the commercial haulers to drop off their single stream.
We're not really making a whole lot on newspaper and cardboard and things like that now anyway, right?
I mean, it basically pays off the labor. So we have equipment, labor costs that.
So
To
all,
wash.
like Pat said, single stream, they would dump it on this floor, this building, and this floor would be dedicated to just
Same.
recyclables.
Right.
Recyclable. That's what
And
this
from-
facility in Clifton Park does, is they sort it.
And the homeowner saves some time or whatever, he just has to have
Now, the
one bin
homeowner-
for recyclables.
Right, I mean, the homeowner could either get a commercial hauler to do their single stream, or they can continue to come to our transfer stations, but we will then accept all plastics.
We could accept
All plastics.
Right.
like,
Correct.
Superior, whatever.
Right.
So currently, right now, we're very selective.
And charge them for
Plastics.
it.
And charge them for it, right? But, you know,
County waste right now, you know, that truck is a 2-bin truck.
Right.
They dump the municipal waste at our operation and then take the recyclables to their own facility in Carroll. The theory
And then
is,
they throw that plastic in the garbage.
right, the
instead.
theory is they would have one-stop shop.
We don't know, yeah, I mean, it's, we don't know, we're trying to figure out what their diversion rate is and what the diversion rate, which means what they throw out. This facility is 5%. There are other locations that are 70% diversion rate. So, which would indicate that they're not really recycling as much plastic as they're picking up.
So it makes the homeowner feel good to throw in the recycling bin, but by the time it gets to the end of the line, only 30% is getting recycled.
Right. Because that's the biggest market for those.
I've read the numbers 8%.
8%.
How much
8%
revenue?
of all plastic turned in, 100% gets recycled.
Much revenue would you?
For a year, we're looking around $156,000 a year.
Yeah, but you're getting rid of all the plastic, a lot of plastic. That's
Right,
like
every-
1 through 8, they don't have to be separated, right? They can all go in.
Single stream.
Single stream,
Yeah,
paper, tin, glass.
that's a lot of plastic that's
Not recycled.
not recycled.
Right.
What about glass? Glass too?
Last year.
Corrugated,
Well, we showed that
Paper.
Greene County would be going green. You gotta make a slogan out of it.
I mean, really,
Warren?
it's the best solution to provide residents of Greene County an option to recycle all their material.
How much work have you put into this already, you all, with a conceptual type of plan? Is it something we can see physically or look at, or?
We can shoot,
I would take you up there.
I was more than happy to bring you up there.
A site visit, need a site visit.
It is impressive, it's extremely impressive. I didn't know it existed, something like that existed.
All right, so what did it cost that county? I mean, you would scale
It's
it
a
down.
private company.
It's a private company.
right. 22 million.
So but their business structure is based on the material that they separate, it's clean material. So they have to have a very clean separation process. All their plastics are bright plastics, the 1,212s. Their steel their metal is recycled or separated, their cardboard separated. They even have a machine that separates plastic bags.
Okay, so Clifton, that's Saratoga County, right?
Yeah.
So have you talked to like the county solid waste up there? And how's it been working out for them dealing with this private company? Have you talked with anybody on that end?
No.
Anybody? Just to check, to make sure it's
So
the real deal.
they've only been in business for about 5 months. It just opened this past September. But the limited time that we were there, 5 different counties were coming and dumping their stuff. And every day he's signing more and more counties that is operation out there.
Is this company being subsidized, do you know? The important facet to know in business model here, we're gonna think about, going down this.
I know
road.
that the facility was privately built and privately funded.
Well, I think we should get more numbers on this, because it's not that it doesn't make sense.
And we've run a bunch of different scenarios as far as having some of the larger haulers come to us, and individual haulers, and just doing it ourselves.
And maybe county waste would be enticed to just dump there then, instead of,
Yes, absolutely. And that's a big thing too. County waste would be a big part of what we do at Casco Transportation, because
If they come, it changes the whole
Yes,
model.
the economics, just, they
And
work a
some of
lot.
these other newer ones that are possible.
absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of newer ones that are not.
Superior, I think is the.
Oh, yeah.
I think you just purchased a landfill or something, or a van or something.
I think Paul helped me out for a second. What was it, a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, that Columbia County stopped doing single stream?
No, they are doing, but their price went through the roof.
But they went way up.
They actually charge their residents to recycle.
All right, I knew they had changed something there in the last year or so.
Yeah, they made them buy permits, which is what we're trying to avoid.
All right.
If you start charging for recycling.
Get them all in garbage.
Yeah, they'll throw it in the trash.
Get them all in garbage.
That's not what we want.
I think we definitely should look into it. So too.
And when we say they recycle all the plastics, I mean, they do the hard plastic, the rigid plastic. I mean, they were baling the garbage totes when we were up there. I mean, any piece of plastic, they've got a market for it.
What about styrofoam? Yeah.
That burns good.
Yeah, I didn't see any styrofoam, but
Styrofoam.
plastic bags, I mean, they were baling
Headline.
plastic bags.
If you have a chance.
They outlawed styrofoam.
There is a place out near Syracuse
Much more of that.
that recycles styrofoam.
Look up behind the plastic bumpers on vehicles, you'll see styrofoam
Oh, yeah.
impact pads.
I know.
So you tell me they're outlawing it, they're on
Next
cars.
I think DuPont runs one of the programs too.
Jim lost control. They're burning styrofoam.
So I know you said Hunter was busy, extremely busy. So is it because our fees are that much lower that you've got garbage coming from Delaware County to Hunter to get dropped off?
In the
Or
last
is it-
3 months, we're trying to figure out why. I mean, we knew that it was gonna be used more often by these commercial outfits.
Yeah,
But
Also, Greendale closed up there.
so we're trying to figure out where the waste is coming from.
What was that, Paul?
Greendale.
Greendale
Greendale
closed,
Station, they had their own transfer station up there.
and they closed.
They closed.
okay.
Think it has anything to do with the increase of second
I
homeowners?
was gonna say, plus the extra people that are there.
Well, the ski season even with COVID, it was a fairly successful ski season, so.
Right.
Paul's got it handled though, apparently they're incinerating it right there at the facility now. That's a joke, but it's not.
Yeah, be careful, yeah.
Are you streaming live?
Yes, unfortunately, I mean, at least.
A couple of fires.
We did have 3 fires at the Hunter transfer station in our containers that were there, 2 of which we know were hot ashes. Somebody decided to throw away hot ashes. We have to make it public aware that they are not to dispose of hot ashes in the garbage. It creates.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Also, something that may or may not, the general public may not know, batteries. The hoverboard was thrown away, it was crushed on the floor, it created a fire in our, so batteries need to be removed from these devices and disposed of the fake batteries. So if we don't dispose of them in trash, we'll take them out to stations. They will cause fires. Last couple months up at Hunter have been pretty exciting.
How about the metal then on single stream recycling? He's gonna that would go up to this place too?
We still have containers for that, we'll have to have it for that. But some of it's just too big.
And you guys got something in mind at the Casper site acreage wise, where this building would fit?
Yes, it would be, well, right now, we're thinking right in front of that current facility. So they would dump their MSW, go around, weigh themselves, go back up to the single stream, drop off the single stream, weigh themselves.
Gotcha.
And the composting site.
And the composting site. That's all part of the local solid waste management plan to make Greene County good.
Yeah, better come up with some nice smelling natural fragrance that you can put on like a 80-foot
wood
telephone
chips.
pole out there.
They're very lights on there.
That would be the next authorizing, there's a resolution raising the tipping fee. This current tipping fee that we have right now hasn't been changed since 2008. We're currently going to raise it from $105 to $115 per ton. The average weight going across our scale for local residents, not the commercial haulers, but the local, is around 300 to 500 pounds. That's about $2.50 impact.
I'd say, are we keeping the minimum charge the same?
Those pennies.
Haven't had a raise in the legislature. That was 2000.
I think that's kind of important for the residents. Most of our residents are not bringing the full ton.
Right.
There's just a minimum
Yeah, we're not.
charge of $15. So most of the people that probably show up from their house are still gonna get charged the $15.
Right.
Okay. Right, most of your homeowners with an SUV or a pickup are probably not very much affected.
Like I said, I mean, 300 to 500 is average for the non-commercial trucks.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's gonna be other questions about resolutions. That are not. Let's get into the resolution and I'll address the questions as they.
Scott, I just have a question on roads.
Yeah.
We had talked a while back about State Route 23A and Old Kings Road that.
We're still trying to find out what the solution or any study that was done by the state. I've reached out to them. Back as far as what the results or even if that study was conducted or finished or completed.
All right. If we don't hear back, maybe we could set up a meeting with them. I mean, I don't mind attending as well.
Okay.
I know that's been an issue. And it's been brought to my attention of State Route 32, Piscaton, Stories Corners.
Yes.
Perhaps is there a way that we can either look into reducing the speed through there? It's a 55-mile-an-hour zone, or can the state do a study there? Because there's a lot of businesses from, Rip Van Winkle Brewery, Story Farms, going down to the Piscaton Firehouse, and it's all 55 miles an hour.
I know the state has done multiple studies in that intersection. They found
Well, not just the intersection, but all those businesses now that, Rip Van Winkle is busy. That brewery's busy on a, given evening, and that car's going 55 miles an hour. Story Farms is opening up, and
I remember right,
the
that's
farm
gonna come
stand
from
is
the
right
town.
close to the road. So,
yeah, I mean, that would be the town of Catskill that would have to.
Somebody would have to start a petition and get so many signatures.
it's not something that we can advocate on the county.
Yeah, I think general municipal law says it has to come through the town to be able to do that. Like a town can set their own town road speed limits, but state road within the town, I think the request has to come from the town. I could be
So
wrong.
if you could check with the same people that are doing
Absolutely.
this, that if we could, if it's something that we cannot help with at the county level,
Now, which one are you gonna be talking about?
well,
Both?
They're tough spots.
It is, it's a bad intersection. It's this intersection that I know they've studied quite extensively. Because of the number of accidents that occurred there.
the increase that's happening in the chemical brewery, Story Farms with their increase in business, we have a lot of events at Piscaton Firehouse, that whole section,
Potential for Friar Tuck now.
potential for Friar Tuck. I mean, just that piece right there, not all of that road, but major highway. If there's nothing that we can do as a county to help, then I'll certainly go to the town, speak to the town board.
I would make that with salt for you. We're done.
We are done. We're right about this.
I'm not on Friday. Did I say we missed you, Tim?
We're right about 70%. So we're right at what we're our typical allocation. So hopefully with the new trucks and equipment that we're getting, it'll bring that down a little slightly, but hopefully we actually use more of it more effectively. And that's the goal. That's the goal of this new equipment. You can actually put the salt out more strategically and control it. The older equipment is pretty much open the door this much.
Right.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you.
Thanks, Scott. Thanks, Paul. Action item number 1, setting public hearing regarding draft local solid waste management plan.
Handle.
I gotta, Chairman, if I could just offer a amendment to this resolution. Scott, how long do you need for the outfit coming in to speak? 10 minutes? Not for the workshop, for the public hearing.
VNL is probably gonna have a 15-minute presentation.
So if we do 6:15,
that night?
So it's open to the public also, so as long as there's not a lot of public comment.
Yep. All right, then I want to just put an amendment to this resolution. It's a mistake that was made, it should be 6:15 on May 19th as opposed to May 10th. I'll move that.
Second on that amendment,
Handle.
all in favor?
All right,
Opposed? So carried.
I gotta pass it as amended.
Okay, setting public hearing regarding draft of local solid waste management plan on May 10th at 6 o'clock.
May
May
19th at
19th.
May
6:15.
19th at 6.
Handle.
15.
6:15. May 19th, 19th.
And handle that second.
I'll second.
Handle and Linger, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Amending agreement with local 968 AFS CME, AFL CIO Council 66 regarding temporary change of work hours and work days.
Handle.
Now, wait a minute now. Now, that's mechanics and everybody?
Correct.
Now, who's gonna pick up the slack? Let's, have a little explanation there. On Friday,
We have, the sign department is going to be working on Fridays to cover any emergency.
they can do mechanical work?
They do not do mechanical work. We have, mechanics, and if there's an emergency, we can call them in on a Friday, but
Double
the
time?
services that they do currently can be done during the week.
You gonna watch it like you did last year?
Absolutely. I think what we are seeing in this area is flux of people coming up. So to minimize the traffic impact on Fridays, it's huge. Our area is becoming more and more popular, especially in areas of the mountaintop. In order to avoid those traffic impacts and improve productivity, I think that these Ward 10s do work. Hopefully, we can continue to do as much paving and road work as before. But we saw a 1078 project last year was at night on Friday. We had, the impact from the traveling public was they're parking all over our work locations. Just more difficult to get things done. Projects out there.
We had an excuse last year for doing Halcott, so. Well, you did.
Yeah, well, this is a little bit of a change from what we've normally done. The mechanics were always opting out of this.
Right.
But I understand this year they want to
It
be.
really wasn't fair that the highway workers and mechanics have to work, so it probably is better.
And the union voted that they all be included on this. Vote that everyone would not just.
I think there was a little more control on it last year than we had seen before.
Well, I would agree with you. I mean, there's definitely more control. I mean, the main sticking points I had always had was, in the beginning, was seeing your crew at the wrong times already stopped for coffee and things like that when they should have been already been working. And, yeah, that just didn't fit the bill for me. Secondly, the only question I have is, have you, with your highway, the garage managers, because we're not in an area of the country where you can have 4 straight weeks of sunshine. I mean, there are times where it'll rain here on a Wednesday and a Thursday, and you're not doing outside work. So you lose 2 days. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday are beautiful. But you lose Friday because of that. So I know maybe might not be able, but at least to me, there's got to be something to be able to work out, especially when you've got these jobs on. And weather plays a part.
And
with this union. There's
Unless
gotta be a
it's-
way.
Unless it's a heavy downpour, we're generally still working on it. We're still, I mean, we can't be paving, that's, we can still change culverts, do ditching. There's still work that can be done. It's much slower, so we're not as productive, the weather's bad, but there's still work that can be.
And then you will have races in the lockers.
Right, we do provide.
Yeah, but I don't ever see any highway crews, and I'm not saying just Greene County, but I'm talking state, any of them.
That's right.
I never seen them out in the rain,
That's
just telling you.
Well, here's the question I have, and I brought it up last year. Why can't we just cut the workforce in half? So half of them have a Monday off, and the other ones work the Friday. You're gonna have coverage all around the clock.
You've got a pretty small workforce now.
Yeah, we can't.
Well, they can, they call that improvising. If they can't improvise to cover each other, I guess it's a null and void conversation.
Scott, how many, employees do you have under your responsibility?
There, I mean, we have around 6 employees per building.
Say 6 per building?
Well, what's total, that's all I'm asking.
You're talking about 30, 37.
Right.
We
If,
used to have 50, 60.
I get it, what I'm asking is, Tom said, if they have an option, they take either Friday or Monday, this way you have more staff, right? I can't say enough good things about your leadership and your employees, right? I have not heard any complaints about Lacey County Department of Traffic employees. They're good. Do you feel comfortable, because you're the man responsible as department head, do you feel comfortable with their performance last year in doing this?
Absolutely.
Okay,
I mean, it's proven how much work we got.
okay, you got my vote, yes. Okay,
Need a second? I'll second it, but,
I think Tommy brings up a good point, Charlie.
yes.
I'm not saying it can happen now, but these are things that we should be conversing with our union about. Hey, this makes sense. Is there some support for this? You know, kind of, hey, let's split this up. You know, and the planning of your jobs you need to get done throughout that nice season of outside work and things like that.
I mean, I can tell you right now that we're already using our freehold building to work in Athens. We're using it in Athens building to work at Ashland, the Hunter building to work over in Ashland. I mean, we're pulling people on a daily basis because we don't have the staff to complete the work that we need to complete. We're doing it, but if you cut that, where we are.
I agree to disagree with you again, Scott. I mean, I like that. I think you do a great job, okay? But the general can't forget how to be a private. We got people that are sitting in a truck or watching somebody supervising. There's no reason they can't grab a shovel or a rake and jump in a hole with a man and do the job. And as far as being moved, you took a job in Greene County. You're assigned to a geographic location or township.
That's what we're doing.
Right, I get that. I mean, we gotta do what we have to do.
So first and a second, Patty and Charlie, all in favor?
Aye.
I would say aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Who seconded it?
Charlie?
Sorry.
Handle Martinez?
Handle Martinez. Tom.
Tom. Opposed.
Heavy hitters.
Warning bid for control of maintenance of roadside vegetation. Buick. I'll second it. Buick and Thornton, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Authorizing purchase of one new 2021 John Deere 6110M four-wheel drive tractor with options.
Barnett.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, just question availability. What time frame are you looking for?
June.
June? Okay. For both items?
Yeah.
So does this unit have to travel to the manufacturer of the boom?
Yes.
All right.
which is done and moved.
Yeah. Same as what we have, everything interchangeable.
We got two pools, right?
Okay.
So that's one of the reasons why we chose the deer, because it's the same we have, there's no learning curve.
Gotcha.
You can put the same operator from the mountains and down.
Thanks, Jim. Thank you, Scott.
Another vote on it.
Martinez, Dorrington, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Authorizing purchase of the new 2021 broom mounted 50-inch rotary and flail mower. Martinez, Dorrington, will second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Authorizing purchase of one new compact track loader.
Buelich.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Authorizing adjustment for tipping fees change in county transfer stations.
Handle.
Buelich.
Handle and Buelich, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Awarding fuel oil bid.
Handle.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Authorizing lease of 8 Union Street, Catskill, New York, to Matthews 25 Food Pantry.
Martinez. Buelich.
Martinez, Buelich, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Is there anything else to bring up before Public Works? Make a motion to
If
close.
not, I do have a request for executive session. Regarding appointment or discipline of an employee. I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Village, all in favor?
Aye.
Following the executive session, we will just adjourn the regular meeting. There won't be any more business conducted. Yeah, we can stop the live. Larry wants to stay on.